This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. So things are getting worse and worse and worse for Donald Trump. A federal judge has just set dates for arguments in several cases, civil suits against him related to the insurrection. Eric Swalwell, Benny Thompson, there's several lawmakers who have filed civil suits citing anti-Ku Klux Klan laws, and they are going through the courts. And now we have a date set. These cases have been allowed to go forward. They are not frivolous. There is absolutely a point, an objective to them, which is to hold Donald Trump accountable for his crimes. In this case, civil case, so not a criminal case, but to hold him accountable, even if it has to be civil. I'm going to read from this CNN article. Judge sets January arguments for lawsuits seeking to hold Trump accountable for U.S. Capitol riot. 3 civil lawsuits from lawmakers and Capitol police officers that seek to hold Donald Trump and his closest advisors accountable for the U.S. Capitol riot are moving forward after months of inaction. Judge Amit Mehta of the D.C. District Court has set oral arguments on whether the cases, which are separate from the congressional or criminal investigations, should be dismissed for January 10th. Again, it is important to recognize that this isn't the House Select Committee's investigation into Donald Trump. This is not the New York State investigation, which is a civil case, or the Manhattan case, which is a criminal case. This is all separate from that. But the lawsuits movement comes as the U.S. House unearths more evidence of the Trump White House wanting to derail Congress from certifying the 2020 presidential vote. So all of that evidence that's been uncovered through the investigation of the House, through journalistic practices, is going to be able to be used as evidence against Donald Trump and his cronies that circle him. In one complaint that Mehta will consider, former House impeachment manager, Representative Eric Swalwell, sued Trump, his son, Donald Trump Jr., Rudy Giuliani, and Republican Rep. Mo Brooks, claiming their speeches on January 6th incited the riot and inflicted emotional distress on members of Congress. To be sure, that is fact. Both counts. Brooks has so far raised arguments that he cannot be liable because his January 6th appearance, he was acting within the scope of his political office. So apparently, taxpayers are paying Mo Brooks' salary in order that he whip up a crowd into a frenzy and dispatch them to attack the United States Capitol, his office. In another, 2 U.S. Capitol police officers sued Trump, claiming he directed his followers to assault them. So we will get to see here. I mean, we know the answer, but we will get to see just how Blue Lives Matter-y the Republican Party is. Are they going to support the cops who are bringing lawsuits against Donald Trump because his followers that he dispatched, that he incited to violence, came and attacked these police officers? In a third lawsuit, Representative Benny Thompson and Benny Thompson, by the way, if you don't know, if you recognize the name, you don't know who it is. He is the chairman of the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th insurrection. In a third lawsuit, Representative Benny Thompson and other lawmakers accused Trump and Rudy Giuliani of conspiring with the far-right groups, Proud Boys, and Oath Keepers to incite the January 6th insurrection. Thompson withdrew from the lawsuit when he became part of the House Select Committee investigating January 6th. Because the lawsuit started, then the committee began. He recused himself from the lawsuit, but it moves on. Some of the complaints cite a post-Civil War law designed to combat violence and intimidation by the Ku Klux Klan. No surprise, it should come as no surprise, that a law crafted to curb the influence and the terrorism of the Ku Klux Klan is now being used against Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani and Mo Brooks, and Donald Trump Jr., and the rest of the cohort. Not surprising. Mehta, who oversees the Oath Keepers' January 6th criminal conspiracy case, will begin to weigh major questions about Trump's role in the insurrection and whether the former president and other right-wing figureheads are protected from legal fallout. Some Republican leaders in Congress had pointed to civil lawsuits as a way to lay responsibility on Trump after he was impeached but acquitted by the Senate for the events of January 6th. The Justice Department criminal probe has remained focused in court so far on the more than 700 rioters on the grounds of and inside the Capitol that day, as the trespassers and assaults are punished under the law. So again, there's a lot of you out there, as I criticize Merrick Garland, who say, you don't know, maybe he's doing something in secret. That's not how it works. And even this reporting acknowledges that the Justice Department seems too busy prosecuting the small fries and letting the big fish go. Merrick Garland needs to either do his job or step aside so someone else can, because the job is not getting done under his watch. It seems to me, it seems to many, that Merrick Garland would have been a fine Supreme Court justice. He was a fine judge on the bench in D.C. Maybe not the best at Attorney General. What do you think, though? Not on specifically that question, but about this entire story. I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. I appreciate all of your submissions, your questions, your even your yelling at me. I get a lot of that, too, and sometimes they're doozies. If you appreciate what I do, if I bring you value on a day-to-day basis, whether it be a smile or information or whatever, please consider supporting my work here on the platform for as little as $1.99 a month. You can become a channel member. Click the join button below this video, or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. In fact, until the end of the year, if you become a patron on Patreon, we're sending out these fridge magnets that are podcast related that are that are pretty funny. People are enjoying them. So, if you're into Patreon. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.